The world is over. 99% of all humans have turned into flesh-eating zombies. Now, the remaining 1% are hiding out on a small island in the middle of nowhere, trying to stay alive and hoping for a rescue that may never come. How did we get here? Well, it started off like any other ordinary day until it wasn't. 1 minute you were going about your daily life. The next, there was an insane outbreak of some kind of highly contagious virus that turned people into flesh-eating monsters. Within days, entire cities were overrun by these creatures and humanity, as we knew it, was extinguished. In this desperate situation, a group of scientists and researchers managed to escape the chaos and flee to a small island, located hundreds of miles away from the mainland. They had heard rumors about similar incidents occurring around the world, but they hoped that this island paradise would be their sanctuary. However, they soon realized that this was just a fantasy. As weeks turned into months, the survivors faced numerous challenges such as dwindling food supplies, the threat of exposure, injury, or death, and worst of all, the constant fear of being discovered by those flesh-eating zombies lurking outside their sanctuary. To make matters worse, the island was not as deserted as they had initially thought. A small group of hostile individuals had also sought refuge there, and they were willing to do whatever it took to survive, including stealing, killing, and even cannibalism. Despite these hardships, the main protagonist refused to give up hope. He believed that one day they would be rescued and that humanity could be restored. But his optimism was challenged when a mysterious helicopter approached the island. This unexpected arrival offered a glimmer of hope for the survivors, suggesting that someone was still looking for survivors. However, this hope was short-lived as the helicopter turned out to be a trap set by the military. They had come to the island to collect blood samples from the flesh-eating zombies and any remaining humans for research purposes. The military personnel showed no mercy, killing everyone in sight, whether they were flesh-eating zombies or terrified human survivors. In the end, only a few managed to escape into the jungle, with our main protagonist being one of them. Stranded and alone in an unfamiliar jungle, the protagonist stumbled upon a small hut and collapsed in exhaustion. As he drifted in and out of sleep, he was tormented by the unsettling sound of chains dragging metal moans. When he finally awoke, he found himself chained to a tree stump, face to face with a horrifying sight. The person who had captured him was none other than the pilot from the helicopter, and he had transformed into one of those flesh-eating zombies. With the infected pilot lunging towards him, the protagonist knew he had to escape before it was too late. He managed to break free from his chains and fled deeper into the jungle, hoping to find a way to survive. Meanwhile, somewhere else on the island, a group of 5 people were hiding in a cave. They had been trapped there by the military and were running out of supplies. Desperate for food, they decided to venture out of the cave in search of something to eat. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a terrible mistake as they encountered a large group of flesh-eating zombies. In the struggle to escape, one of the group members, Kelly, was bitten by a zombie and infected. Despite their efforts to save her, there was no cure for the infection, and Kelly soon began to turn into a flesh-eating zombie herself. Torn between their morals and their desire to survive, the group eventually made the heartbreaking decision to kill Kelly before she could harm them. Back in the jungle, the protagonist stumbled upon a group of children who had also survived the apocalypse. Together, they formed an alliance and built a small camp. They shared their resources and knowledge, helping each other to adapt to their new reality. The protagonist taught the children how to hunt and gather food, while they reminded him of the importance of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. As time passed, the group thrived in their camp, finding ways to improve their living conditions and defend themselves against any threats that may arise. They had managed to carve out a small piece of happiness in a world that seemed to have lost all hope. And so their adventure continues in this desperate yet heartwarming tale of survival and humanity. S last stand against the flesh-eating zombies. What would you do if you were the only human left alive? Would you try to find other survivors or go it alone? Let me know in the comments below.